Yep, it's that time of the year again. Well, not really. I do acknowledge the fact that 2019 is so 3 weeks ago, but still, I put a lot of time and effort into creating my favorite films of 2019 list, and I think I'm finally finished. And I'm really excited to share it with you guys, so what do you say? Shall we begin? Now, before we start, just a quick few things. Firstly, if you like today's video, please make sure to hit that like button and hit that subscribe button as well if you're new here. I post new videos weekly and I'm always working on new stuff. As a matter of fact, I've got a bunch of new stuff that I'm very excited to share with you all, so stay tuned for that. Secondly, while I did try, I didn't get a chance to see every single film that came out last year, but I do believe that I saw a vast majority. And also, don't be surprised to see that some of the films on this list are films that I didn't necessarily review on this channel. I do watch films in my free time, but I don't always have the time to record a review for every film that I see. Lastly, this list is my opinion. Now, I do understand that some of your lists may vary greatly from mine, but that's just the beauty of personal opinion and film criticism as a whole. So please don't come at me if you think that a film that I liked a lot wasn't that good in your opinion. That's all I'm asking, okay? We can talk about it in the comment section though. And this is the last thing I promise. This one's kind of obvious, but just so that you know, these films are ranked in order of personal preference. There are some instances in which a film may rank a little bit higher, even though I gave it a lower grade just because I liked it more. And you'll see what I mean in just a few moments. I don't want to talk anymore. I want to jump right into this list. And let's kick it off, starting with number 10, which is Avengers Endgame. Look, this film was great. That's why it's on the list, okay? I'm not trying to detract from that. It's the culmination of 11 years worth of hard work and character development and storylines and jokes and a macrocosmic vision, as well as a lot of money. I think we can all agree that this film literally and figuratively paid off. The third act alone will go down in cinematic history without a doubt. But I guess what I'm trying to say is that there were a lot of better films that came out this year. Take for instance number 9, Little Women. Greta Gerwig's latest film is one that I did not expect to like, but that I ended up loving. On paper, it sounds pretty boring. It's a period piece based on a book that I've never read, nor would I ever probably read, yet I could not look away. At times sweet, at times heartbreaking, but ultimately empowering, it defies the notion of a sophomore slump altogether and solidifies Gerwig as one of the best voices working in the industry today. Number 8, Crawl. Some of you guys are probably so shocked right now, and that's fine. That's why I love these lists. You never know what to expect. While it may not be an Academy Awards contender or even a massive blockbuster, it's still a pretty great film in my opinion. It's a simple creature feature that manages to stick to some of the genre's key tropes while still managing to feel original. In addition to being one of my favorite films, it was also one of my favorite movie-going experiences of last year too. Number 7, Ad Astra. Brad Pitt is having one hell of a year, and while it looks like he's finally going to get that long overdue Oscar for his performance in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I'd argue that he probably deserves it a little bit more for his performance here. Despite being a sci-fi film, his reactions and emotions make up so much of Ad Astra that it ultimately ends up feeling like a reflective drama. And while it's easily one of the year's best films, the most surprising thing about it is the fact that it had a pretty much non-existent Oscar campaign, much like the next film on this list. Number 6, The Lighthouse. The Lighthouse was definitely my most interesting movie-going experience of 2019 by far, and I say that because, well, I still can't shake it. Between the aspect ratio and the actual claustrophobic setting, you're so enclosed with the characters that by the end of the nearly 2-hour runtime, you kind of feel like you've lost a little bit of your sanity too. And it's not the most straightforward film either. I can see there being tons of different interpretations of it, and I can see a lot of people dissecting it for years to come. But its most memorable aspect, I think anyway, is number 5, Joker. Remember the time the media tried to scare everybody away from this movie? Me too. And I think that at one point there was a real possibility that it actually could have been negatively impacted by all the drama surrounding it, but then it turned out to be a great movie, and everybody forgot about all that stuff. And I think it's cool because, Joaquin Phoenix is a seasoned actor, and it looks like he's finally going to be getting all the recognition, or he is getting all the recognition that he finally deserves for his performance. He might even go on to win the Oscar. But even his performance isn't the reason why I like this movie per se. I guess the best reason to describe why I liked it would be actually in his Golden Globe Award acceptance speech. In it, and I'm paraphrasing, he goes on to thank director Todd Phillips for tricking him, for really tricking the whole audience into thinking that they were going to be seeing a comic book villain origin story, when in fact it turned out to be something totally different. It turned out to be a story about a man who, right when he needed society the most, society turned its back on him. And I know it seems like a crazy idea, but it's not that different from what goes on in society today. It really does hold a mirror up to us and makes us question whether we're the villain or he is. And I don't know. At the end of the movie, I mean, it's very clear that he might be a little bit evil, but is he wrong? Number 4, Parasite. I loved Parasite. In fact, I loved it so much that I forced my mom to go see it. And that may not be a big deal to you guys, but trust me when I say it is a pretty big deal, just because she doesn't really watch foreign language films like that. It's not that she hates them or anything like that, but it takes a lot out of her. She really has to put on her stocky glasses and zero in on each and every one of the subtitles. But she loved it. In fact, it feels like the whole world is in love with this movie, from critics to actors and actresses. Like, I saw pictures of, like, people that we know, A-listers, going up and out of their way to meet the people behind this film, the actors, the director. Brad Pitt, for instance. I saw a picture, he pushed everybody to the side just to shake hands with these guys. It's like mind-blowing. And now they're doing like an American remake of the show, which I don't necessarily agree with, but still, this movie is like, it's so weird. It's like a pop culture phenomenon. It's the first time, and I would argue the history of cinema, that a foreign language film is getting this treatment. It's a front runner to win the Oscar, apparently. I mean, I'm excited, just because I mentioned before on this channel, I'm a huge fan of Bong Joon-ho. I've been following his work for a very long time, and he's another person involved with a film on this list that I'm glad is finally getting the recognition he deserves. But going back to the film, okay, while I did really enjoy it, it's pretty high up on this list, I did still think that there were 3 other films that were a tad bit better than it. Like number 3, Marriage Story. No, it wasn't Adam Driver punching a hole through a wall, or Scarlett Johansson giving the best performance that she's ever given ever, or even Laura Dern's apparently Oscar-worthy borderline cameo in the movie that sold me, really. It was, and I'm being very candid here, okay, it was the fact that I'm married, and I felt like I could relate to this movie, this story, these characters a lot. Not to say that I'm on the verge of a divorce or anything like that, at least I don't think I am. Right, honey? Honey, I think it was just the amount that these two loved each other through the good and the bad. It really tugged at my heartstrings. These were easily the best performances of the year. And I know that most institutions might disagree with me, but I said what I said. Number 2, 1917. Talk about a last-minute surprise. I mean, this film came out at the very end of the year and grabbed everybody's attention, mine included. And the technical mastery is only a fraction of why I really love it. Yeah, it's cool to watch everything come together in what's made to look like 2 shots, but the performances are pretty great too. Not only are the 2 leads carrying the message that the film's plot revolves around, but in my opinion, they're carrying the film too. This project is a prime example of what happens when a bunch of great minds come together with a singular vision. Now, before I unveil my number 1 favorite film of 2019, I do just want to say that making this list was not easy. There were a bunch of films that did not make the cut, and I want to share those with you. So, in no particular order, here are the honorable mentions. Waves, Toy Story 4, High Life, Yesterday, Hustlers, Klaus, Knives Out, Dolomite Is My Name, Guava Island, and Child's Play. I'm sorry, but that remake was fantastic. And now, number 1, Jojo Rabbit. Now, I've seen many mixed reactions to this film. You either love it or you hate it. Obviously, I'm on the former side, but Taika Waititi's World War II set story about a young boy who doesn't quite know what to make of the world yet is all at once humorous, heartbreaking, and just honest. And its overall message about being able to change the world when you change your mind. Don't get me wrong, I've seen it done before, but I've never seen it done quite like this. And that's why I thought it was brilliant. And that's why it's my favorite film of the year. And those were my favorite films of 2019. What were some of yours? Let me know in the comments section down below. But that's pretty much all the time I have for today. Once again, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to view this video. It really does mean the world to me. And if you like this video, don't forget to hit that like button. And if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe for more weekly content like this. Currently, I'm putting the final touches on my favorite films of the decade video, which should drop any day now. Be on the lookout for that. But yeah, until next time, I'm Dempsey Pilot. Take care.